Sorry Bill Nye couldn't be here today due to him being sick. I am Will Nye, his cousin, and I'm going to be filling in for him today. We are going to be talking about the water cycle, the phosphorus cycle, and how they work together in nature! I really thought that was going to echo.
The phosphorus cycle is found everywhere in nature with or without human activity. Phosphorus is a nutrient that originates in rocks. It gets into the soil as a result of geological uplift, then weathering from precipitation. The phosphorus in the soil then gets consumed by primary producers. Consumers then consume the producers, which leads to the nutrients going into the waste and going into the decomposers. Now going way back into the phosphorus in the soil can go into runoff and leaching, where the soil and waste dissolves in the water. It then mixes into rock and can be geologically uplifted, where the whole process starts over. This is why it's called a cycle.
Look at this tree, for example. It plays a big role in the phosphorus cycle. It takes nutrients in the soil to grow big and strong. Consumers such as squirrels, rabbits, and birds feed off of what it produces. The cycle continues on and on and on and on and on.
Water, aka H2O, cycles around in nature. The main processes include evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and transpiration. It is always happening around us and we don't even know it. Evaporation is when water evaporates and goes into the atmosphere. Condensation is when water vapor turns into a liquid. Precipitation is when the gas formed from evaporation turns into clouds, and over time the water falls back to earth. Transpiration is when water evaporates out of the leaves of plants.
Eutrophication is a process that involves the water cycle and the phosphorus cycle. Eutrophication destroys aquatic ecosystems. Eutrophication is when precipitation mixes with fertilizer containing phosphorus and leaches and runs off into bodies of water. This causes a lot of algae to grow on the surface of the body of water. Then the reduced amount of sunlight kills the plants at the bottom of the water. Bacteria needed to decompose the plants uses a lot of oxygen, which creates dangerously low levels of oxygen in the water, resulting in the deaths of aquatic creatures.
As you can tell, it's raining buckets outside.
Oh!
But what causes the rain? Rain is formed when water evaporates and rises into the atmosphere. There it forms clouds. Clouds are water vapor that have condensed into small drops, which eventually form clouds that we can see. When the clouds have too much water, the small drops form together and become raindrops. They are too heavy, so the water falls to earth, and this is what the rain is. For this experiment, you will need a stove, a pot, some plastic saran wrap, a big glass bowl, a small glass bowl, and some ice cubes.
Place the pot on a hot stove, then add the ice cubes. Once the ice cubes melt into water and the water starts boiling, pour the boiling water into a big bowl. Then add the small bowl into the middle. After you're done with that, cover the big bowl with plastic saran wrap. Then add the ice cubes in the middle.
water is cooled, remove the plastic wrap. You will notice that there is water in the small bowl. This is due from the evaporation rising onto the plastic wrap where it is cooled by the ice cubes and condensation occurs. The evaporation turns into small droplets of water and runs into the middle where it is weighted by some ice and drips into the small bowl. This is how the water cycle works in nature.
The phosphorus cycle wouldn't be functional without the water cycle. The water cycle makes most of the processes in the phosphorus cycle possible. For example, without precipitation, weathering would not occur. This would make the phosphorus cycle unable to function because the steps after weathering would not be able to happen. Other parts of the cycle that would not work without water would be runoff, leaching, or phosphorus dissolved into water. That's the end of our show. Thanks for watching. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to continue cycling on.